Open-world games are the ultimate playgrounds in the gaming universe. The beauty of these games lies in their ability to grant us the freedom to forge our own destinies, venture off the beaten path, and embrace the thrill of the unknown. So, fasten your seatbelts and prepare to journey through the top 20 most anticipated open-world games of 2024, where each game is a gateway to boundless adventures and endless possibilities. Number 1. Outcast, A New Beginning. 20 years later, Cutter Slade is back in the long-awaited sequel to Outcast. He's on a mission to save the Talons and the planet. You'll dive into a world filled with ancient cultures, dangerous creatures, and an ex-Navy SEAL sporting dry wit from the 90s. This sequel promises a mix of nostalgia and epic new adventures. Number 2. Towers of Akasba, Balancing Villages and Botanical Wonders. Alright, imagine Towers of Akasba as an open-world fantasy where you build villages while nurturing exotic plant life. It's all about expressing your creativity, exploring a whimsical land, and connecting with friends. It's like SimCity meets a magical garden. Number 3. Rise of the Ronin, Samurai Showdown. Team Ninja is cooking up Rise of the Ronin, set in late 19th century Japan. An action-packed open-world RPG that'll likely knock our samurai socks off. Team Ninja is known for their ninja skills in game development, so this could be a game changer. Number 4. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. In Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, you control Ichiban Kasuga and Kazuma Kiryu, exploring new districts and even Honolulu City. It's got turn-based combat, a whole bunch of job options, and gangster-style shenanigans. It's like a Yakuza game cranked up to 11. Number 5. Throne and Liberty. So, Amazon Games and NCSoft are teaming up to bring us a new Korean MMORPG called Throne and Liberty. And guess what? It's free to play. Picture this: cross-platform PvP and PvE action, where you gotta navigate through ever-changing weather and other players' wild moves. It's shaping up to make Dragonlance look like a sleepy hamlet. Let's hope it drops soon, because we're all dying to dive into this digital battlefield. Number 6. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So, Konami's finally spilled the beans about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater during the 2023 PlayStation Showcase. It's like your favorite retro game, but on steroids. We're talking updated graphics and sound, plus the OG voice characters, with all the classic story and combat. No clue on the release date yet, but I'm on the edge of my seat for this one. Number 7, Fable 4, the magical reality check. Hold on to your wizard hats, people. Playground Games, the brains behind Forza, is taking a wild turn into RPG land with Fable 4. Exclusively for Xbox Series X and S, they're pulling out all the stops to whisk us away to a more magical version of Albion. But sorry, we're zipping through medieval towns in a Bugatti 64. Still, it's going to be an epic ride into Fantasyland.
Conquer the vegetable, not a euphemism. Let's face it, the age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation. This, if you will, is the age of death. One moment.
You cling to life. You find others. Friends.
Number 8, Dune Awakening, surviving sandworms and spice runs. Picture this, Dune Awakening, the new open-world survival MMO from Funcom, where you're stranded on Arrakis, the desert world from Dune. Survive sandstorms, dodge sandworms, and scavenge for spice, just to make it through the day. It's like a survival game on steroids, set in a harsh, desert-y sci-fi universe. Watch out for those sandworms, though. They don't play nice.
You do all of these things in my dream, Sleeper. I am terrified.
Number 9, Dragon's Dogma 2, the legendary return. Capcom's heard our prayers, folks. Dragon's Dogma 2 is finally in the works after a decade of longing. Directed by Hideaki Itsuno and powered by the RE engine, this sequel's been a long time coming. No word on when it drops, but just knowing it's happening is like finding gold in a dragon's cave.
In your own destiny, Arisen.
Of course, that begs the question. If he's a mere mummer, then where might our true Arisen?
Empress Nadinia's life is in your hands, Sir Arisen.
Praise be, for only the Sovereign's guidance can lead us true. Long live the Sovereign of Vermont!
Number 10, Death Stranding 2, Stranded Again. Kojima Productions is cooking up Death Stranding 2, and while details are scarce, we know it's set for the PS5. Get ready for stunning graphics and a star-studded cast, including Norman Reedus and other A-listers. It's a bit of wait, but hey, good things come to those who wait, right?
Come meet my crew, Sam. It's time for you to hit the road and start a new journey.
Number 11, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Grand Thievery in Space. Michael Ansel and Ubisoft have answered our prayers. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is actually a prequel to the original game, diving into a cyberpunk, space-filled adventure. You start from scratch and aim to reach the heights of professional thievery. Stealing from multiple cities on different planets? Count me in.
It's a key part of recruiting, too. Take a close look at an NPC with your spyglass, and you'll see if they have any skills worth adding to your space pirate crew. Of course, your crew isn't the only company you can bring along. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is an online game, and while you can play solo, co-op buddies can jump in or out at any time. You won't be tethered together either, and if you want to wander off and explore while another player does their own thing, you're free to do so. Welcome to Ganesha City, a dense, vertically built metropolis where the rich live at the top and the poor huddle in shanty towns built into the sides of the city's foundations. It's sprawling and richly detailed, and it's just one small corner of a moon called Soma, itself just a small piece of Beyond Good and Evil 2's gigantic open world.
Number 12, Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, Humanity's Last Dance. Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn is like humanity's last hurrah against the afterlife. You, playing as Nora the mysterious sidekick, gotta wield all sorts of weaponry and magic to survive. With the door to the afterlife wide open, it's a wild survival fest against the undead. I mean, who doesn't love a good showdown between the living and the dead, right? At number 13, Greedfall 2, Island Diplomacy and Combat Galore. The story starts before the first game, throwing you onto the continent of Gakane. You're a native fighting against a bunch of factions vying for control. Diplomacy, cunning, or straight-up combat. It's all on the table as you fight against the conquests, threatening the continent and your home island. It's like an RPG mixed with a game of political chess. Number 14, Star Wars Outlaws, the galaxy's biggest heist. In Star Wars Outlaws, you play as Kay Vass, a gal with a bounty on her head. The game promises the biggest heist the Outer Rim has ever seen. Make friends with crime syndicates or make some powerful enemies. Your choices are going to shape the whole story. It's like the Star Wars version of Ocean's 11.
I think that went pretty well, right?
These guys don't quit! Hang on!
Number 15, Aftermath, Charlie's Broken Odyssey. Here's a wild one. Charlie Gray, an engineer turned astronaut, comes back to Earth after a re-entry fiasco, only to find herself in a fragmented world. Her mission, finding Sammy, with alien beings causing chaos. Charlie's got to MacGyver her way through with everyday objects. It's like a twisted version of a scavenger hunt against extraterrestrial foes. Number 16, Nightingale, Survival in a Victorian Fantasy. Former BioWare boss Aaron Flynn's bringing us Nightingale, a shared world survival game set in a Victorian fantasy world. You can team up with friends to brave the challenges. Can you imagine surviving in a steam-powered, slightly mystical world? I'm in.
Ever since the day the portal network collapsed, stranding us in these realms, we have searched for a way home.
Lost and alone in the dangerous labyrinth of fantastical worlds. Welcome to the lands of Fae.
Number 17, The Elder Scrolls 6, The Legendary Tease. Bethesda finally confirmed The Elder Scrolls 6, teasing us with potential settings and a glorious return to Tamriel. But hey, don't hold your breath. This RPG's cooking up for the long haul. But let's keep our hopes high and fingers crossed for a release before the end of the decade.